Welcome, troops, to SOS, and I am sitting at a round table to my left, the infamous Hollywood Edwards.
What's up?
Straight across from me, looking at me with his beady eyes, is the Steamtown Stunner, the Electric City Saint, Bobby Ventura. Welcome back, Mr. Ventura. And to my right, get your hand off my knee, Daddy Cool. It is Captain of Chaos, the captain of Swag AC, Big Daddy Cool. Gents, how you doing tonight? It is time to talk some Wrestlemania.
Oh yeah, Wrestlemania. This is Edwards. What's up, guys?
What's up? I guess like Joe Biden, I got to learn about personal space.
Oh man, we'll do a show about that. I will say this. I'll take just a few seconds to say I am the first person to score points in the sexual harassment draft. Thank you, Joe Biden. And now there's 4 accusers, so I am running up the points right now.
You're winning in a landslide until they out Bernie.
2 years in the making. Finally.
Until they out Bernie.
We should go back in a decade and see if like anybody else scored any points. Just kind of forget about it at this point.
All right, gents, we're going to talk some WrestleMania. I know you're excited. We had 2 great go-home shows on Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown with the big 2.1 rating. Whew. The hell happened there, man?
It's not good.
Ouch.
Obviously, people watched Raw and went, I ain't watching that again. 2 hours of that shit. So, let's start it off with a fatal 4-way match. Tag Team Championship belts up for grabs. The Iconics versus Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix and her partner Natalya versus Tamina Snuka and Nia Jax versus the champs Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Bayley the booty.
Oh, that booty.
Bayley the booty.
Bayley
We'll start
the
this
booty.
one off with Hollywood Edwards. Hollywood,
Yo.
what do you think about this match? Are you looking forward to it? And who are you picking to win?
Ooh, double. All right, here we go. I'm looking forward to that booty, that previously mentioned booty there from you guys. All right, so this match, boy, oh boy. What we've seen so far when these 4 are getting together, these 8 are getting together, not very good stuff. But, however, I will say I think Beth Phoenix is surprising the crowd with how well she's doing for as many years as she's been away. And because the Hart Foundation is going into the Hall of Fame, I am going to make a prediction that this match is going to blow. That's the first part. Second part, I think we will be shocked with a victorious Natalya and Beth Phoenix standing in the ring with the belts.
Whoa!
That's right, gentlemen.
So you are going with new women's tag teams champions. You're going with Beth Phoenix and Natalya.
I'm doing it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Electric City Saint, let's hear from you on this woman's fatal 4-way match. Perhaps will steal the show at WrestleMania.
No, I think it's going to take a lot for that to happen, bro. I seriously think this is going to be a botch fest. I'm kind of worried about this match, and I hope that they kind of just put this on early and kind of just get through it and get it over with. I think it's a match, unfortunately, a lot of people probably just aren't going to care about. I think, Beth Phoenix, I think it's kind of cool to see her back again, but, the appeal kind of already is worn off because they had her on Raw, of course, already do a match. So I don't know if that was necessarily a good idea or a bad idea to put her in there that early, but I don't think it's going to even matter so much because I'm going to go with the Iconics in this match. I think that it makes a lot of sense for them to win it. They're, in my opinion, looking at the 4 of them, they're the only real, legitimate tag team, actually.
Wow. So we have 1 vote for Phoenix and Natalya, 1 for the Iconics. Kick it over to Daddy Cool, AC.
All right, so just because we have to make a prediction, because I honestly could give two shits about this match, and I don't think it's going to be very good, and I don't think it's going to be very long either, which that will be the nice part about it. But I'll say this: Edwards kind of stole my thunder. I agree with the Hart Foundation thing. You still got it with Beth Phoenix. I think that's all really nice, but it's not iconic.
Wow.
I'm going with the Electric City Saint, not only because it doesn't make any sense and because they're really stinking hot, but they are really stinking annoying. I'm going with the Iconics.
Wow. I'm shocked.
Wow. I did not expect this.
That was honestly my pick before I heard the Saint. So we're on the same wave with that one.
Wow. Well, I predict that this match is going to suck. I predict it's going to go too long. And AC said it was, or no, Bobby said it was going to be a short. Which one of you guys said it was going to be a short match?
Did.
Even if it is a short match, it's still going to be too long.
Hey, man.
That's my prediction. If it lasts 1 minute, it will still be too long. And I am going to go with the champs to retain Sasha Banks and that ass, Bayley.
Nice.
That ass.
When that match is over, that championship belt will be draped around that ass.
Nice.
Wow.
Moving on to another Fatal 4-Way. That's right, gents. 2 Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship matches that we know of right now. This one features Ricochet and Aleister Black out of NXT. Sheamus and Cesaro, otherwise known as The Bar. Rusev and Misa Nakamura. And the Uso brothers. This time it is the Electric City Saint going first. Saint, hit us with it.
Honestly, bro, is it just me or does it seem like we're like in this participation award era of WWE? I mean, there's so many championships more now than ever, and almost the entire roster has some sort of match or involvement at WrestleMania. I mean, it almost seems like they're purposely trying to squeeze, everybody into these 15 matches. And, I get not wanting to exclude anybody, but whatever happened to like making them earn, a spot on the big show and have it be like a major honor and a reward, I don't get it, bro. It's like, what are they doing now in this company? Especially in recent weeks, it just, it's completely excessive in my eyes, bro. I mean, as far as this match goes, honestly, I hate to say it, I could care less. And I'm worried Ricochet and Black are going to win this. I seriously am, but I'm going to go with the Usos to retain.
Aleister, cut it out.
I can't breathe.
All right, the Saint going with the Usos to retain. AC, Big Daddy Cool, what do you got?
Another 4-way. I mean, they had Dewey book one and they had Dana book the other one, I guess.
That's great.
I mean, of course I want the Usos to win, but I don't think the Usos are going to win. I think that they're going to do a lot of shenanigans here, and they're going to put it on the Bar, or I'll go with the Bar, just because it makes no sense, and it's going to be one of those Usos don't win. One of the Usos won't get pinned. Someone else will get pinned. Knock will take the pin, or maybe Slappy will take the pin. I mean, Aleister will take the pin. And they'll put it on the Bar. It will just be some quirky thing because that's their way to have Usos versus the Bar at the next pay-per-view or whatever.
Okay. I was looking forward to the Usos versus the Hardy brothers. That is not happening for some reason. I don't know why.
That got deleted.
Yeah, I got totally forgotten about. I have no clue what the hell happened with that.
So this match, bro, it is what it is. It's one of these Fatal 4-Ways. Who wants to see it? I was worried about this. I actually texted you guys during the show that I just hope that doesn't happen. And sure enough, it did happen. And the same teams that were in the match the other night, which makes no sense at all to me. But I am going to pick the Usos to retain. I'm going to go with Bobby on this one.
All right, 2 for the Usos.
Hollywood.
As much as I want to see the Usos retain, I have a bad feeling about this. What have we been complaining about? Tag team wrestling.
My fucking leg hurts already.
We've been complaining about
That takes a lot of training.
tag team wrestling and spots being rewarded to undeserving teams that aren't even teams. There are 2 singles guys smashed together. Guess what I think they're going to do? My prediction is Alistair and Ricochet are holding those belts after the match.
Can you double down on that? Are Alistair and Ricochet going to be double champ?
I'm going to say no.
So you have them losing at NXT.
Yes.
But then coming to the WWE and winning.
Yep, I'm calling it. It's going to happen.
War Machine. Raiders.
Aye.
We're all going to be questioning this. You wait, I can see it now.
Goddamn, pal.
Rest in peace, tag team wrestling.
Well, I'm definitely going to be questioning it, no doubt there. All right, moving on. Let's go down to the no holds barred match. Dave Bautista came on Monday night and maybe gave one of his top 3 promos of all time, in my opinion. Great job by him.
Yes.
Bro, Triple H has his career on the line. Does anybody here think that Dave Bautista puts an end to the career of Triple H? We'll start it off with Big Daddy Cool AC. What do you say, AC?
I agree with you about the Batista promo. I thought I was going to be more into this match than I actually am. I almost look at this as filler at this point, and I hate to say that given the guys that are in the match, but it just feels that way to me. It's not that important. I think you're going to get Flair shenanigans here, and Flair's going to cost Batista. And maybe he gets some heat by beating up Flair in front of 80,000 people, or beating up Triple H from 80,000 people. Maybe someone else gets involved. I think it's going to be shenanigans to get Hunter the win. Because let's face it, Hunter's not ready to give up those entrances at WrestleMania yet. We all know that.
No, not at all. And I, too, am going with Triple H in this one. I think Triple H wins the match. Shenanigans could very well happen from Mr. Richard Fleer. Maybe Mr. Richard Fleer will come in and help Paul. We'll see. But, yes, I'll pick Triple H. Hollywood.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Everything AC said, I agree with 100%. Exactly down to the T. People may be helping him. He's not going to be ready to give up that WrestleMania entrance, all of it. Triple H wins in a very average match.
Saint.
Well, I'll save this to start this off. I am going to try to keep it short, but I feel like this WrestleMania is actually WWE's way of showing that they're moving on from that older generation of wrestlers. I mean, let's face it, Kane, Goldust, Big Show, Mark Henry, they don't have matches at this. Currently, Cena and Taker, they aren't announced. Angle's having his last match. And, of course, Triple H could potentially be having his final match. And even though it's a stretch, I don't think it's too far-fetched for Batista to win here. I'm actually going to go with Big Dave on this because I think, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm going to actually go with Batista because I feel like, I think actually with Triple H moving on to a potential management role, I mean, he's obviously heavily involved with NXT. I seriously wouldn't be surprised for this to actually be his, final match. And another reason I feel that way is why would they just bring him in Batista just for him to lose? I mean, I know they've done it in the past, but I kind of feel like, this is actually, Dave's match to win here. So I'm actually going to go with Batista for this. I actually think he pulls it out somehow, and whether it actually really does end up being Triple H's final match, in a way, I kind of highly doubt it, because I'm sure it'll be forgotten about in like 2 years, but I actually do feel like Batista will win this.
I have to admit, Hollywood, you and I had a conversation about this early on, and I thought exactly like the Electric City Saint just said.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Batista's match to win. Why would he come back to lose? He's the Hollywood guy. What changed my mind is this whole ending Triple H's career. That's when I got pushed over to the Triple H side, because I just can't see Triple H wanting to end that career.
Yeah, I think if he looks at WrestleMania, he may be looking toward that, but not this year. He's probably telling himself, oh, what haven't I done yet? Beat Batista. I'm going to beat Batista. Then I'll remember.
Hogan and Warrior type thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are we all in agreement that we'll get, no matter who you think is going to win, involvement from Flair? Very interesting that they haven't involved him at all, other than Triple H naming him. Mm-hmm. They haven't involved him at all, which makes me think that it's, ha ha ha, we surprised you. Yeah, big surprise.
Yes, I think that makes sense. Absolutely.
Could Randy Orton interfere in this match?
I thought about that too, actually. Or Shawn Michaels.
I actually don't think we'll see Flair, and I think this was essentially just like a rehash of the Undertaker Flair storyline, where he basically beat up all Flair's buddies. He beat up his son, David Flair, and Arn Anderson and all that, just to egg him on into getting in the match. I don't really think there'll be any kind of rebuttal from Flair or anything like that.
All right. Moving on to the Falls Count Anywhere match. I love these things. You can go outside. You can go in the toilet. Wherever you want to go. You can pin somebody. Anywhere.
Well, we just saw one yesterday.
Yeah.
That's right. Cleveland's own The Miz takes on Shane McMahon. Shane O'Mac, son of the wealthy Vince McMahon. Hollywood Edwards.
Yes, sir.
Who do you like in this one? Are you expecting a good match? Who's going to win? What do you say?
I'm going Miz here. I think Miz completes the face turn and the big, Shane puts him over. Miz has been there forever. Homegrown, if you will. But the match itself, I think, might be, again, I think we know what we're going to get. We're going to get, from The Miz, we're going to get what we saw last night on SmackDown. From Shane, there will be at least 2 different high spots, and the crowd will pop like crazy, and yada, 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 and he's Vince's kid, and he's getting the, spot of the night, just like he always does. But I think in the end, he's going to put The Miz over.
Saint.
Well, I will say this up first. I was not on board with the Miz face turn. It very much, it felt forced. It felt pretty awkward. Wasn't really a big fan of it. And then in coming weeks and months, I've slowly seen it develop, and I actually think it's a good fit for him. I've liked the transition. He's slowly become more of a face. It wasn't like totally like all at once, basically. It was like sort of slowly built up. But I don't know, bro. I love the best in the world, Shane McMahon, bro. I don't know, man. This match here, I think it's going to basically be your average early 2000 WWF Hardcore Championship match vibe to it. I don't know even who to go with this. It's like, it's honestly, that could really go either way, but I think I'm in agreement with Edwards. I think they complete the whole face turn for The Miz, and he actually goes over on Shane here.
Bro, he's got that show, Miz and Mrs., so he's got to be a face. AC.
I think the match will be exactly what has been already explained. You'll get the I don't know, the out of control badass Miz from Tuesday, and I think you'll get your Shane McMahon spot, whatever that spot is. They'll probably come up with something new because I mean, there's no Hell in a Cell for him to jump off of. So by making it one of those falls count anywhere, I mean, he could find something high to jump off of, I guess, to
You
make
could jump off anything, yeah.
Yeah, he could jump off the building. Who knows? I mean,
Oh, that'd be great.
I mean, listen, this is pro wrestling, so anything could happen. Anything.
Do like a shout out to Owen.
Oh, jeez. He went there. Oh man. Okay. Moving on from there. My pick in this match, I'm actually gonna pick Shane.
Ooh.
And the reason I'm going to pick Shane is I don't think they're done. I think if the Miz wins, that puts closure on the story. And I don't think they're done with this story. I don't think Shane's story with the Miz ends here. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I think they're gonna carry it over. Maybe even as long as SummerSlam, because I think keeping the Miz, the babyface, up against Shane keeps them the babyface. I think if they put him against someone that's kind of borderline, he may lose some of that, shine that he's got on him right now. So I think by keeping him with Shane, they keep him a monster babyface for now. Anyway, I think the story they're going to tell is you're going to get that scary, out of control Miz, and Shane's going to win maybe by interference from somebody else. They interject into the story. I'm not going to make any guesses on that, but they could interject someone else into the story. But I think you're going to get that Miz that I've disappointed my dad. I've disappointed my wife. I went overboard and I lost. And they've been telling this kind of like how he's kind of like been self-evaluating himself, I think they're going to stick with that story and the Shane story. And I don't think it's going to end here. And I think the way to do that is to have, even if it's shenanigans, Shane goes over.
I think Shane will sweat a lot. I think his face will be red. I think when you look at him, you'll swear he's 2 seconds from a heart attack or a stroke. And I think Miz gets the victory. Don't get me wrong. Shane will get the high spot. He'll steal the match with his high spot, just like he always does. But I think Shane loses this one. I'm going with the Miz. What's his name? Mike
Mizanin.
There you go. I'm going with that guy. All right, let's go to the farewell match. Electric City Saint. This is the last time ever for you to see Kurt Angle in the ring. Now, the word is that on Monday night, Kurt Angle, the reason that match was canceled, he was supposed to be taking on Rey Mysterio, is because Angle couldn't go. He was having some physical ailments. So they held him out so he'd be ready for WrestleMania.
He's scared of Baron Corbin.
Maybe too many matches for Angle in the last couple of weeks. Now, strangely enough, it seems like maybe Rey Mysterio got hurt taking that match for Angle. Well, going up against Baron Corbin. He may or may not wrestle at Mania. We'll see about that. But Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, maybe the best dressed wrestler in the ring today. Who you taking? What are you looking for in this match? Give it to us.
Well, as a Pennsylvania resident, I've been a big fan of Kurt Angle my whole life. Ever since he came into the business, I've met him before. I've gotten his autograph before. He's, definitely the hometown hero. So I guess I am a bit of a homer here for Angle in this. I do say that it's a good time for him to get out of the business because I don't feel like he's really quite embarrassing himself yet, but he's right on the borderline. Like the last couple matches that he's had, he looks like he's lost a step. I mean, like I said, I don't feel like he's embarrassing himself quite yet, but I think he knows that it's a good time to get out of the business. Now, I really think it would make more sense for Corbin to get put over here, to establish him as a heel, but I I don't see it happening. I think Angle's going to win in a squash. I think it's going to be about, seriously, because especially if Angle's having a hard time, I could see them seriously just having him squash Corbin and just end it right real quick.
Wow. Going with the squash.
How dare
Daddy
you.
Cool, what are you saying?
How dare you? Baron Corbin's going to win the match because they're finally going to do something productive. Maybe. But if it's like, honestly, these guys are what? Plus 45? Talking about Mysterio and Angle. They're both hurt. Big shocker there. I mean, it's like the Yankees lineup. Everybody's hurt. I don't think the injury really matters because Baron Corbin could easily just beat Kurt down for the whole match. Whatever injury he may or may not have, I'm sure they can protect it. I think I honestly I don't know why I think they're gonna do the right thing here. I think that, as I talked about last night, Kurt Angle's a guy who will do the job for somebody. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know Cody doesn't have his last name anymore, and he's banished from WWE references forever for starting a wrestling company. But I've seen him do it for Cody on the indies. So what makes me think he's not going to do it on the big stage? I don't think Angle's the guy that feels like he needs to go out with a win. I think I could be crazy here. I think he wants to do what's best for business in a way. And I think that's why he's going to do the job for Corbin, and it makes sense.
I will say this real quick, not to cut you off, Stames, but I do like Corbin. I'm actually, I'm kind of on the same side as AC, that I'm quite a fan of his. I do think it would be smart for him to go over here. For whatever reason, I just don't see them doing it, unfortunately. I think he realistically should, because I think, in a real fight, I think Corbin would destroy him. But I have concerns that they just ain't going to pull the trigger on it.
I think Corbin is going to dominate the match. I think he's going to be on top about 70% of the match. But in the end, he's going to make a mistake, and the Olympic gold medalist is going to take advantage and get the victory. But I do think that Baron Corbin is going to look very good in the loss. I do not see them putting Corbin over. I could be wrong. Hollywood, you could make this a tie. If you take Corbin, it would be 2-2. What do you say?
Get ready for overtime, because I'm taking Corbin.
Whoa! So it's me and Bobby against... What was the name of that gimmick show you guys did? Cool Truth?
Don't pretend you don't know. Pretend you don't know.
The most listened to show on 1640 PWPR, baby.
That's right. We bow. We take a bow. I think
you guys were the last show.
We were like the New Day of 1640 PWPR.
We were pulling triple duty there. Yeah, but back to the match. I think
I was Big E, Edwards was Kofi.
I think this. Well, I don't know. That's debatable. I think the story is.
Oh, so you were Xavier?
Maybe.
Because we all know I'm Big E. Anyway, move on.
I think the story that they're going to tell is basically what Corbin has been saying in his promos. I'm bigger than you. I'm faster than you. I'm younger than you. I'm stronger than you. I think he is going to toy with Kurt Angle. And Stames, I like your idea, but I think Angle fails at the comeback. And I think that's going to be the story told. And it's going to be basically he's taking the dog out back, and it's time to put the old dog down. And I think that's what we're going to get. And I honestly think Kurt Angle, at this stage, I mean, look, he's a veteran. He's been there forever. I'm sure he can see the heat that Corbin has on him. And if they tell that story right, I'm sure he's going to insist on putting over Corbin, because I think it's what's best to carry on out of Mania. He could actually start a big, for Corbin's character. It could jump him off. This could be a jumping point for him if he beats Angle.
Do you guys think that Corbin winning would also kind of knock down those predictions of Angle's return? If Angle wins the match, it's always, he did win his last match. He could come back. But if Corbin puts him down, takes him out back for Slaughter, the old dog, like Edward said, nobody's thinking about Kurt Angle making a comeback, and they don't have to hear that internet noise about it.
Yeah, they could kill it if they tell the right story. Yep.
If they tell the right
story. It's always that if.
It's always that if, right? Hey, we've been pretty positive on this show, so we could take a couple shots.
All right, 2-2 on that one. Split decision. Moving on. AC, one of your all-time favorite wrestlers. Used to dress up like him. AJ Styles taking on Randy Orton. This one is, I love what they're doing with the jabbering at each other, man. A lot of shoot type stuff going on between the two of them. What are you looking for in this match, AC, and who do you think is going to win it?
So what I'm looking for and what I think is going to happen are two very different things. And even though the cat's kind of out of the bag, because I said it last night, and I probably said it around Royal Rumble because I was starting to feel it around then about AJ. I might be the indie guy, the ROH guy, the whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the WWE version, the babyface version of AJ Styles just does nothing for me. Randy Orton called him a corporate bitch, and I was like, yeah, that or a corporate suck ass, because you could just see it. This is not the AJ Styles we've seen, that we saw live against Jay Lethal. You know, this is not the guy who wrestled Nakamura in Wrestle Kingdom, right? This is not the same guy. I'm over this AJ Styles. I want Randy Orton to RKO him out of nowhere into next week, and Randy Orton to win. And I think Randy Orton, in this whole feud that they're having here, carried it, number one. And number two, I think he showed the difference between the guys who have been out on the, out in the smaller promotions, we'll say, not just the indies, the smaller promotions. And he orchestrated the difference in this one. A guy who's been in the WWE his whole career, they handle these spots, and you could just see the difference. I think The Miz can do that. Orton can do that. A lot of the guys who they came up through WWE can do that. And I don't think AJ can. And I think that's why Orton's been so much better, and that's why I want him to kick AJ's ass and RKO him in the next week. But I'll stop rambling here. I still think AJ Styles is going to win. He just re-signed. We all know it. They're going to probably make him a big, major face of SmackDown heading into this Fox deal. Or maybe they even move him to Raw in a draft or whatever. But I think AJ is going to get a major push from this company. I think it starts with a win against Randy Orton.
This is the one that I think is not going to end right away. I don't think this feud will be over after this WrestleMania match, which is why I am going to ditto everything you just said, AC, except I'm going to have the balls to say Randy Orton will get the win.
I hope you're right.
Match. Hollywood.
General.
Randy Orton. AJ Styles.
I'm going to swerve myself here after I heard you two talk. I was in agreement, and everything you guys said, perfect. But I thought earlier today that AJ was going to go over because he is, as Randy said, he's becoming the next corporate bitch, right? But I think we're picking winners and losers here. I think this ends dirty. I don't know if it's whatever ending they haven't planned, it's going to carry on. I think this carries on to SummerSlam, maybe even into next Royal Rumble. I think this is going to be a long, drawn-out story.
I hope you're right, because it could be great, too.
Because it could be good. It could really be good. What they've been doing all month, I mean, do you stop it? I mean, they're doing pretty good. You could build that up pretty high the longer you go with it. So I think if it might be a dirty finish, but they could do like a double DQ, something, a double count out because they're just, fighting each other. I think you're going to get some kind of ending like that. I don't think it's going to be a clean either way.
Are you saying that no one is going to win the match?
Yes, that'll be my prediction. There will be no winner.
Who the hell is at the Dunkin' Donuts right now? Okay. The hell was that?
It's AC because he doesn't have his headset on right now. He can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Wait till he comes back. Wait till he comes back.
Maybe he's going to take a shit.
Hey, trivia.
Leave that in.
I'm good. I'm leaving this all in. Hey, trivia.
It's one thing to take your headset off, but why are you remodeling the house? That's what I don't get. Okay, say AJ Styles, Randy Orton. What do you say?
Oh man, for real, I'm actually, out of all the matches, this is probably the one I'm actually looking forward to the most, as crazy as that sounds. Because
you're such an AJ Styles mark.
It's great. I love it.
Well, it's that, and it's Orton, because I was lucky enough to meet him early 2003 before he, really blew up, and I got his autograph and met him and shook his hand, and bro, Randy Orton is one of the coolest fucking guys in the business. I'm a big fan of his, but that's enough of that stuff. I like I said, I've gotten both of their autographs before, shook their hands. I'd say as far as who WWE has right now, they're probably two of my favorites in the business. I think part of what makes this so special is, back in 2004, 2005, 2006, on the internet, a lot of people said that this was a dream match for this to happen. And here it is, 2019, and I still say, to some extent, it is still a dream match to some sorts. I mean, maybe not to the extent it was several years back, but, these guys are two of the best in the business still, even as they've gotten older. And, I think both of them have aged like fine wine, essentially. They are having some incredible matches and some incredible promos, and their back and forth that they've done, is really blurring the lines between, reality and kayfabe. And I think, what they've done the last couple of months now, or I guess maybe it's just essentially the last month, has been very, very entertaining. It's been very good. Now, that's sort of the build up for it. But as far as the match goes, I want Orton to win. I don't think it's going to happen, no. And the reason why is I feel like the finish that I would have done, they just did it on SmackDown. I would have had him RKO out of nowhere after, AJ does the phenomenal forearm. And I don't see him doing that quite again. So I'm going to actually go with AJ with this, but I also agree with what Edwards and what you guys said. I think this is a very long-term feud potentially, and I hope they keep it going. I'll say, Styles wins it tonight, and then Backlash or whatever the hell the next pay-per-view is, I'd say Orton takes the W there in that one, and then, they'll probably keep going maybe until, I don't know, pre-SummerSlam maybe.
So you got autographs from both of them. Were they pictures that you got autographed?
Yeah.
So you have autographed pictures of AJ and Orton?
Yep.
Are either of those pictures displayed in your home right now?
No, they're actually not. But when I was younger, I did have the Orton one framed. Like seriously, this was like 2003 before it was. I think he was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, and I won like tickets to. It was at the Wachovia Arena, and basically got to go backstage type of thing. He was. Basically, honestly, he was the only guy that wasn't like a real like douche. Because like at the time, I was like probably like 13 or something. I think Orton was very nice. He's an awesome dude for real.
Wow, nice story. So you framed the autographed Orton picture, but you did not frame the autographed AJ picture.
Yeah, because AJ was a little bit later. I think I was, I don't think I think that was like probably 2008, 2009. And like, I think at the time, I thought I was like too old to have something hung up like that, I guess.
I'm calling bullshit on that. No way. I think that picture's framed. It's got to be framed. Come on, Saint. You're an AJ guy. All right. So we had what? Two AJs, an Orton, and a dirty finish on that one. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Bro, I love what they've been doing in this program with Drew getting over on Reignsy. Can it continue? Will it continue at WrestleMania? I'm going to pass this one off to you first, Hollywood Edwards. Joe versus Drew. What are you looking for in the match, and who do you like?
I'm looking for a great match. I'm looking for two big guys wrestling big, like we all like. The rarity in wrestling now, unfortunately.
Yep.
Earlier in the week I said, Kofi and Bryan obviously has the possibility to steal the show. But for guys like us, this might be the match, man. Just for the physicality aspect and the storytelling and the style. But I'm trying, I want them to push Drew as the monster heel that we know he could be. But,
hey, man.
Like we talked last night on our SmackDown review. For those that didn't hear it, AC, General Stames, you guys said, they could tell the story of Roman maybe coming back too early. That's how Drew gets over on him. And maybe you can kick it down the line a little bit and have Roman make the comeback in a few months. But my gut is telling me Roman's going to go over. I think Vince just has to put him over. He can't not put him over, from Vince's perspective. But either way, and, I like both guys. I'm fans of both guys, have been for years. So either way, I'm fine with it. I'm just looking for a great match there, to be honest.
All right, Saint.
This, honestly, I totally agree with Edwards. I think it's going to be the sleeper match of the night because I think these guys, with the potential of the physicality and actual, old school style heavyweight wrestling, I think, for guys like us, I think that's going to be a very, very, very good match, honestly. Now, I also would say, again, I'm pretty much agreement with Edwards. I want them to push McIntyre. I think it makes sense for him to go over here. I mean, he's looked very good lately in matches against, Ambrose. He beat the holy hell out of Reigns and, looked like an absolute savage, but I've unfortunately, gut feeling wise, I think it probably from their perspective, I think it makes more sense for Reigns to win here. So I'm going to go with the big dog on this one. I think, he needs to come back with a big singles win. And why not have it be on the biggest stage in the mall?
All right, 2 for Reigns. AC.
Man, I kind of already talked about this, so I don't want to be super repetitive. I think in some ways they're going to beat the shit out of each other, but I think in a lot of ways it's going to be a lot of Drew McIntyre beating the shit out of Roman Reigns. I still think they're going to tell the story we want them to tell. The guy coming off chemotherapy, that's rusty, that's not as strong, blah, 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 blah. But I still think that they want Roman Reigns on Good Morning America Monday morning after WrestleMania, not crying about losing, the comeback. It's the big comeback. They're probably filming one of those WrestleMania 24s about it, and you'll probably see that in the next few months. So I think they're going to tell the story, but I still think Reigns is going to win. I wish Drew would win, and they'd continue it or go away from it and get back to it later. Maybe get the title on Drew at some point before, whatever. But I still think they're going to go Reigns because I think that Reigns, and if what Bobby said earlier is true, which I hadn't thought about that, but I think it might be true with them moving on from the older guys. Well, if you look up and down this roster and say who are the guys they're going to push, we mentioned one already, AJ Styles. But who's that other guy? It's Reigns. There's no, I mean, you'll still have your Lesnar or whatever, but they're guys. They're week to week, every show, house show guys. It's going to be AJ. It's going to be Reigns. And that's why both of them are going to win. And I still think that's why Reigns will win. I think there's a better story to be told, but I think business-wise, Reigns wins because of the business, because of the way they want to carry their business. It's more than wrestling. So they tell a different story than we'd like to watch, is basically what I'm saying.
There's so many reasons that Drew McIntyre should win this match. Number one, it would tell a beautiful story. They could separate the two of them and then have them hook up again in a year next year at WrestleMania, maybe when Drew McIntyre's the champion at that time. Not just that, but even, they'd like for Reigns to be the face of the company. Now, right now, he's still being accepted by the fans because he's come back from this battle with leukemia. They're still not booing him. If he lost this match, if they told that story of a guy just not ready, just not quite back to where he was, I think that could go a long ways in helping them in pushing him as a face. I think the fans would accept that and then get behind him even more. If he goes out there at WrestleMania and just, bludgeons Drew McIntyre and gets the win, it's going to set him toward that same spot where he was at before he left with the leukemia. Now, having said all that, and all the reasons why Drew McIntyre should win, I hope every one of us are wrong, but I cannot pick Drew McIntyre because I don't trust Vince McMahon or the WWE to do the right thing here. So I am going to take Roman Reigns as well. But to me, there is no reason to have Roman Reigns win this match. He doesn't need to win, number one. And Drew McIntyre, I think, does need to win. I think it could set off a huge future battle between the two for the heavyweight championship. I just don't have the confidence that they'll do that.
Is that the first clean sweep? I think that's the first one we all agreed on.
I think it may be. Yeah.
Interesting.
How about that?
So maybe Drew might win.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I hope.
I guess it just shows we're all Roman Reigns.
I'll make you pals,
Yeah.
Smart. Think you know my plans, you pals. Drew's winning now.
Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe. Now, we know about the injury with Rey. AC made a great point the other night. He said, is this how they're going to bring John Cena in? So I didn't even think of it right away, but it makes perfect sense. If they want Cena in a match, and they did talk about Joe originally with Cena, it would be a great spot for Cena to come in and help out his old friend Rey Mysterio by taking on Joe. But I guess we will pick this match just as it is right now. Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe for the United States heavyweight title. Saint, what are you looking for in this match, and who do you think is going to win it?
All right, so I'm going to start off by saying that if it is indeed Samoa Joe versus Rey, which, there's still a possibility it might, I see Joe going over simply because of the fact that I think they might have the Rey's his son or whatever, Dominic. They had him on SmackDown about a week or two ago. I seriously, it wouldn't surprise me if he turns on his old man or something. Depending on how well it's done, it actually could be potentially good. But we know with WWE, they do stuff and it ends up being really corny or it's botched. And like I said, I don't have too much confidence if they do have that and utilize Dominic in the storyline. So I will say that Joe wins. However, I don't think that match will happen, and I'll say that they will have, Joe probably do like an open challenge and have Cena come out. And I think that would be a cooler match just because of their, personal history that isn't explained sometimes, but everybody, kind of knows that they kind of, got into the business together. They're good friends. But in the same situation, I still see Samoa Joe winning. I think Cena would he would do the good thing, and I think he'd put him over. And I think, like I said, I think actually Cena Joe is the better, more exciting match at that point.
I agree there. For what reason would Dominic turn on his father, Rey Mysterio? What do you know? What's going on there?
I don't know. I just the rumors I've heard that they would like to utilize him to some capacity with that because he has, shown interest in getting into the business, and from a storyline perspective, I think it would be a big shock, for him to screw over his old man and somehow like side with Samoa Joe, and maybe Joe takes him under his wing or something like that. I mean, whether they do it or not, I think that's a big if. But like I said, I think, there is some potential there. But, WWE, they've been known to squander potential quite a lot. So I'm not going to get my hopes up.
Okay, let's take it over to the illustrious AC.
Not even funny, bro. I heard everything you said before. Yeah, my headset was off. I heard it all.
That's awesome.
I was just no-selling it.
I was hoping you'd hear this back and go, "Ah, shit."
I know. That's why I no-sold it till you egged me on. Sorry, that was ice. That was ice dropping in the bottom of my glass. I didn't realize that my freaking microphone would pick it up from literally across the room, like literally.
For a second there, I thought you were tending the bar, bud.
I thought he was building a bar.
You're on the right path. I was definitely tending a bar. What match are you talking about? I totally lost track.
Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio / John Cena.
The match that John Cena is going to be in. I think this Rey injury, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. I think in some way, shape, or form, Cena's still going to be in this match, and I think Joe's going to win it. Cena, much like Angle, does the job for Joe. He's not promoted to be there because he's doing the job. One of those generic, oh my God, it's John Cena. If he was on TV every week, I'd be booing you, but oh my God, he's back. Cena's back. You still got it. Yeah, with your hair and everything, one of those. And Joe wins. And that's it. I mean, to me, Joe versus Mysterio right now, in the midst of all these other matches, unless it's a filler match on the show, like he talked about with Batista and Triple H, and probably those 4-ways, it's one of those other filler matches unless it's on the pre-show. It's just not that important. But if John Cena shows up, that's such a bigger spot for Joe. So I hope that happens. And that's what I'm going with. But I'm going with Joe either way. But I'll take the L if it's against Rey Mysterio, because I don't think Rey Mysterio is going to be in the ring.
Well, I think Joe would kill Rey Mysterio. I don't think that will even be a match. I agree with Bobby. The way that they would do it is an open challenge. And bro, it'd be great because as soon as Joe says, all right, I'll throw out an open challenge, everybody in that place is going to be thinking about one guy. John Cena, he is the open challenge guy. Or will it be R-Truth? Will it be Cena and Truth?
Well, I think Truth's going to be in the pre-show. So maybe he'll be available if he doesn't get hurt.
Could Cena win this match and then give the belt to Truth, a la Ted DiBiase, Andre the Giant?
Could Rey Mysterio come out and say, I can't compete, but I called my good buddy Big Match John. Yeah.
My son Dominic is going to take my place.
Maybe Jason Jordan will take Angle's place and beat that Applebee's waiter Baron Corbin.
Let me ask you guys something. If John Cena does show up, if you were that crowd, would they like to see Cena beat Joe? Would they be more interested in seeing Cena win that match? Because Cena could always drop the belt the next night on Monday Night Raw with an open challenge and get it back to Joe or whatever if they wanted to.
That's a SmackDown belt though, so that would have to be on Tuesday. Well.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm just busting your balls.
What do you think? What do you think, Hollywood? I mean, I know, like, I will admit that I think Joe's gonna win no matter who he wrestles, whether it's Ray or Cena. I still think he's gonna retain. But I'm just wondering now, what would be better for the show? Would it be better for Cena to come back and win, or is it better for Joe to just beat him?
It's better for Joe to beat both of them, and that's what's going to happen tonight, Sunday. What's going to happen is Ray, they build up the injury, do the little pre-interview in the back, let him say, "Yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm hurting, but I'm good to go." And then he comes out.
We're hurting, but we're good to go.
Yeah, we are going to beat Joe. And then he comes out and let Joe play with him in the ring. Let him take him out and let him mess around with him for 3 minutes, and then he beats him. And then Cena's music hits and says, "You're robbing these people. You're a jerk, whatever. Da-da-da-da-da. Take me right now. How about it?" And Joe takes him on. They put on maybe a 15-minute match, a good match, and Joe goes over. Perfect opportunity to build Joe up into something more. And for the U.S. title, too. So that's what I'm expecting to see. 2 matches consecutive. Joe wins both.
Wow. So you think Joe goes 2-0?
2-0. 2-0 Joe.
Wow. All right.
That could be a call for a title shot against the eventual champion, whoever that might be. We haven't got there yet.
All right, moving on. WWE Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match.
I forgot about this.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Lashley, the Intercontinental Champion, with his hype man Leo Rush in his corner, will be taking on not Finzi, but the Demon King. Blah! With the tongue, like he was on there on Monday night with that tongue and the smoke and all that. We'll start AC off with this one. Daddy Cool. Is there, I asked you this the other night, is there any chance Bobby Lashley can hold on to that belt?
I mean, well, last year was Gay Pride weekend, and this year he's a demon, so no, I mean, they're not going to have the demon lose. My guess is Finn Balor t-shirts don't sell as well as those demon masks and demon armbands and all the demon shit they sell. And Finn Balor's going to win the title. And they'll probably pull some shenanigans where Lashley blames it on Leo Rush, and he demolishes Leo Rush again, and then Leo Rush gets rebanded to 205 Live, never to be seen again. And that's my prediction.
I am also going with the Demon. I hate it. I think it's dumb. He's the same guy. He's still the Fonzie. Instead of a leather jacket, he's wearing red paint and a wig. I don't see how it makes him any different, but he's undefeated as the Demon, and undefeated he will stay. Hollywood.
All Demon. All Demon. I think this might be a squash match, people. And you guys are going to hate it, and I'm going to love me some gimmicky Demon. He's going to be crawling out there. He's going to do the crawl. I hope the entrance is like 8 minutes long. I'll be so happy.
I mean, well, somebody's got to make up for the Undertaker's entrance, so there you go.
Yeah, they might as well just give it to Finn at this point.
Right. I mean, right.
Yeah, that's going to be Triple H.
Well, that's there anyway, though.
It's true.
I mean, the Undertaker's entrance takes up, 10% of the show. They need an entrance to take up 10% of the show. Why not the Demon? It makes perfect sense. I'll hate him as much as I hated the Undertaker all these years. Perfect. I already hate Finn. I might as well hate the Demon too.
Bro, you know what? I just thought of something. If I was Triple H, when Dave Batista start coming out to his music, I would have them stop his music and start playing that Spice Girls song.
That would probably be more like Shane for Miz or something, though. That's the problem.
That would be very funny.
That would be hilarious.
Saint,
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Saint, who do you like? Or are we going to make it a clean sweep for the Demon?
Well, I'll say this much. I'm on the same boat as Edwards. I'm kind of a fan of like the gimmicky, like the demonic, gothic, whatever you want to say. The demon character Balor. It's a lot more interesting than good old Fonzie with a leather jacket there.
Hey,
but seriously, you guys are gonna think I'm friggin' nuts. I'm actually gonna go with Lashley here.
What?
What?
Let me explain.
Listen, your medication has gone to your head, bro.
Are you off your medication?
I question all my other picks we agreed on now.
No, seriously, like as crazy as it sounds, I think that they're gonna advertise him as the first guy to beat the Demon. I think he'll go on Raw and say, "I can't even be beat by a demon. Who's gonna beat me?" And what I would do then is, we haven't seen Bray Wyatt in a while. I would use that as a way to bring him in as a face and feud with Lashley. And, because I think if he could beat the Demon, then obviously he's got to go against somebody that's like a supernatural force type of thing. And, we haven't seen Wyatt in a while. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but I could seriously see them doing that. Now, the chances, of course, of Lashley winning, I think, are very low, but I'll actually go out on a limb and say Lashley wins. And, what I would like to see, besides the Bray Wyatt thing, is eventually I would like to see Leo Rush turn face and have it be essentially like the Virgil Ted DiBiase thing, where he basically gets tired of being the lapdog and going through all this bullshit to put over Lashley, and eventually he turns face and actually feuds with him over for the IC belt. I think that would be very entertaining too, because I think Leo Rush, he has that appeal to him that I think smaller cruiserweight guy, I think he could still get over with a lot with the audience, because he's very athletic, he's very good on the mic. But I don't know. I mean, real silly to say, I think Lashley somehow wins this somehow, and they make a thing out of it that he's the first guy to beat the Demon.
I like what Bobby's saying there partially, but Bray Wyatt coming back as a heel against the Demon, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in for that.
Bray Wyatt and Leo Rush promos could be very good. My only problem with what Bobby said is turning Leo Rush heel and putting him against Lashley is basically telling the same story as Little Guys versus Lesnar. And we all know how that should end. Just like women versus Ronda should end, but we'll get there.
Really, Bobby's right about something here, too, is that if they let Lashley go over the Demon, he is set for, if they let Brock Lesnar be
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I mean he's ready for Brock Lesnar at that point.
Yeah, I think it'd be a big shock the world moment too. Because as I've said, the Balor, the Demon character, has not been beaten on NXT, and he hasn't been beaten on the main roster.
Brock versus Lashley might be the only time you could make Brock 100% babyface. Brock would be 100% babyface versus Bobby Lashley. Just because, A, people like Brock more, and B, I think in a real MMA fight, people probably think Brock would kick Lashley's ass. So I think everybody would be rooting for Brock. That would be pretty cool.
I'd be rooting for Lashley. I would definitely be rooting for Lashley.
That's a tough one. I don't know where I'd go with that. That'd be good, though.
It'd
be good to watch.
I think a lot of people would go with... The only problem is...
Leo versus Heyman?
Leo versus Heyman.
That'd be great.
Leo might go over Heyman, and you want Heyman to be the babyface in that feud. Leo might actually get the heat from Heyman.
That would be interesting, though.
I want to see it. So we know it's not. Now we know it's not happening.
Sure.
I mean, when you think about it, if they kept that IC belt on Lashley, bro, that could be like Warrior versus Hogan. That'd be a huge match.
Yeah.
Two MMA guys, both of them with their mouthpieces. I mean, that would be a lot. I think it could be very entertaining.
A real fight, you know?
Yeah,
boy.
Absolutely.
Makes too much sense, though.
All right, moving on. We saw it last night on SmackDown Live. Kofi Kingston signed the contract. He's in. Big E gyrated all night long. Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. Will Kofi, Daniel Bryan, Hollywood, what do you say?
They have to go all the way with it. There are only two acceptable endings to this to me. They either go all the way with it and put the title on Kofi, or they have the New Day screw Kofi.
Yep.
They're the only two possibilities that you can accept at this point. And if they do put it on Kofi, that place is going to go bananas. It's going to be one of the biggest WrestleMania moments in recent history. So
either one of your scenarios there are pretty much taking the New Day out. Right? Because if Kofi becomes world champion, what happens to the New Day?
Nothing.
They get bigger.
They're the Freebirds.
They're popping.
Michael Hayes has the world. Michael Hayes has the world title at that point. Big E and Woods go for the tag titles. Maybe that's what they should be doing with them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And honestly,
if they all had a title, that would be great.
Right.
That'd be perfect. And last night when they came out and Big E did his, "Oh, Baltimore," the entire crowd was screaming it with him.
Yeah.
So it's not. I think Kofi's gotten the entire New Day to a certain level in this whole deal.
Yeah, and I would encourage.
They could be like the Horsemen or whatever, where Flair's your obviously your main guy, and then they have this. Obviously, the New Day would be kind of like Tully and Arn or whatever, going after the tag titles. I could see them doing that. There'd be no harm in them doing that, and
all they need is a cruiserweight.
Right there, you go.
Well, they could bring in Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. What's his name? Jason Jordan.
Well, he's jacked, so I don't know if he's
he's a little too big for a cruiserweight.
Well, that could be the Leo Rush babyface turn.
Oh, Leo!
Could you imagine Leo Rush cruiserweight champ while Big E and Xavier are tag champs and Kofi's WWE champ? Dude,
I like it.
That's tremendous.
I like it.
We're gonna be so heartbroken.
I know. Paul, how do I get in touch with these guys? They're making sense.
And I want to encourage our
AEW. We're free agents. I'm just throwing it out there.
Our fans out there listening right now, if you're really into the New Day, I encourage you to listen to our countdown of wrestling entrance theme songs, because the New Day is on that top 13.
Way to put your own song over. Good job.
6-time champions.
All right, Saint, what do you think about this match? Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, where does it go?
Well, as far as this goes, we're really getting to deep territory with this. I mean, it's funny. We're almost on for over an hour and a half. And I honestly think I'm looking at this card, bro. 15 matches. We're looking at a potential 6.5 to 7 hour show, which is absolutely insane.
Oh, it's not potential. It's happening.
It's happening, bro. And I get it. It's the biggest show of the year, and it's essentially, it's a celebration of the business. Okay, I get that. But sometimes less is more, and I truly feel like, they're more concerned with quantity rather than quality with this year's card. And
Amen.
What that ties into with this is I'm worried that, I'm worried they're going to have this on first, or, like in the middle of the show, which would lead me to believe that somehow Brian goes over. I pray that they don't do that. I'm not a religious person, but seriously, I pray they don't do that. I really hope they, go all out with this and give us the big culmination of the whole entire storyline, which would be, of course, for Kofi to go over and have it be the big dream 11-year-long build-up. I mean, that'd be incredible. Honestly, me personally, this should go on the very last, and I will explain what I would rather do once we get into the women's match. But for real, like if this was up to me, this ends the show. That'd be a huge moment. Fans would go nuts.
Well said.
I agree.
Well
AC.
I think they're going to go all the way with it. I think we talked about this last night. Again, this is another one that was a little bit recent. So Edwards and I were both in agreement that before last night, we were like, just get him in the match somehow, some way. That's all you got to do. After last night, he's got to win the match. And I think they're going to go that way. And I don't know why. I think they're going to do a solid to you here. I think the match is probably going to be much before the women's match, 3, 4, maybe 5 matches before. I originally thought it would go first. I don't think that now. I think it'll be later. But they're going to separate it enough from that women's match. They're going to keep it away from that. And I think Kofi's going to win, but he's going to win in the B-plus way. The B-plus way. Not winning at the end of WrestleMania like Daniel Bryan did. He won in the middle of WrestleMania. And him and Daniel Bryan are going to have their feud based on that. I ended WrestleMania in confetti, hugging Connor the Crusher, and you won your title at 9:05, and the show ended at 3:17 in the morning. You know what I mean? I think that's where they go from here, and that's why I think Kofi's going to win. And I honestly, it's a good story still, so I'm with it, and I think Kofi will win.
Okay, and I too, I'm taking Kofi Kingston in this match. I think that they go all out, see it through to the end. I am not going to tell you that I think Kofi Kingston is going to have a long title reign, because I don't.
That's another option too.
But I do think that Kofi Kingston gets this win on this night. All right, going to the next championship match. It is the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar taking on Seth Rollins. Burn it down, Saint. What are you saying?
Well, like I said, I believe that, they're not going to have every single major title change. I just can't see them doing that. So we got to have one of the heels win. And what better heel, what better dominant beast to win than Brock Lesnar? I would never want anybody to legitimately get hurt, but from a kayfabe perspective, I wish they'd have Brock Lesnar go out there and absolutely cripple him. I would love to see it, and I'd love them to actually, implement that into a storyline and, actually, sell it and actually, have Rollins be out for a couple months. I just don't think they would do that, because I don't think they could afford to have him on the sidelines, obviously. But either way, none of that matters, because the Brock Lesnar, he isn't going anywhere. He's absolutely going to maul Seth Rollins. No doubt about it. I know a lot of people probably think it makes more sense, for Rollins to win, but I just don't see it happening. From logistically and realistically, Lesnar would absolutely friggin' murder him. He wouldn't stand a chance. I'm sorry. It'd be, put it this way, it'd be like me fighting AC. I would get smoked.
Oh, I thought you were saying it the other way around. Okay. AC. Daddy cool. What do you think? Boy. Brock Lesnar versus Burn It Down, Seth Rollins.
I better start training, I guess. Wow. Wow.
You better start hanging and banging,
You're
clanging
gonna
and
start
banging.
clanging and banging and throwing haymakers and all that stuff. But I feel more confident about this pick after Monday night with Rollins getting his shine. I thought that was a very bad sign because I thought the only story to tell here is the underdog that Brock Lesnar kicks his ass, and it's an 8-minute match, and Brock kicks Rollins' ass the whole time, but Rollins gets lucky and gets a win or overcomes it, whatever. I don't think they're going there. I think they're going with Brock winning. I think they're going with Brock winning because they understand he's the biggest guy they have now. He's the biggest guy they have. He's the biggest star they have. You don't like the idea of not having a champ on TV every week, but would you rather have a lackluster champ, a champ that cries on TV and like he is obviously a far better heel than he is a babyface because he's lost a lot of us with this burn it down crap. I'm gonna burn down Suplex City, blah blah blah, whatever. Nobody cares. I think Brock's gonna win. Vince loves Brock. The next day you'll hear he signed a 5-year extension or some crazy stuff. I haven't heard anything about Brock, and there's all these rumors about UFC fights. He's been in a testing program. They conveniently lost the test, but there's no fight on the horizon for Brock Lesnar, and he's been getting tested way long enough to have a fight now. So I think he's all in on WWE, and I think Vince is all in on him. And I think it's going to be a bad day for you if you think Seth Rollins is going to be champion, because I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Vince views a guy like Seth Rollins as a champion.
Was the fight supposed to be that Cormier guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it could have been him. It could have been John Jones. It could have been Francis Ngannou.
Stipe Miocic or somebody like that.
Stipe, he literally could have 5 different guys. And he's been in a testing program for 8-10 months now, which is way long enough. They conveniently lost the test, so he hasn't failed one since then. So I'm going to assume that he's quote-unquote clean. So he's got 5 fights out there. Could fight any one of these guys. It's a big fight for ESPN and the UFC. And there's no fight out there. I think he's all in on wrestling right now. It's easy for him.
Wow.
Easy money.
I too, I am picking Brock Lesnar. I think that just like Bobby says, I cannot suspend my disbelief that much to believe that Seth Rollins could beat Brock Lesnar. I see Brock Lesnar killing the guy, killing him, and I don't see how you would go away from that. And then behind the scenes, why would you take that belt off of Brock Lesnar? What are you going to do? Not sign him? Because without the belt, without him being the champion, are you going to sign him to that big money deal for 5 years? I don't think you do. And I don't think Vince is going to let him go and not sign him for fear of AEW grabbing him. And we had this conversation the other night, AC. I mean, to see Brock Lesnar go through guys and fight, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes. I mean, that would be damn exciting to see. And I'm sure Vince McMahon does not want to see that.
Let me pose this question to Edwards and Electric City Saint here. We said it on the show the other night. Brock Lesnar versus Kenny Omega is probably the biggest wrestling match in the world you could ever make right now, right?
It's definitely up there. No doubt about it. That'd be insane, bro.
Pretty close. When you that's both sides of it right there. Maybe The Rock versus Omega would be bigger. I don't know.
Edwards.
Brock goes over. I think the way they book it is they're going to give you a couple minutes of Seth is going to win believability. I think maybe he gets dirty a little bit in the beginning. He attacks him full bore.
Like Finn
did. Brock's going to roll out, pace it a little bit, catch his breath, all that stuff. But I think it's just a matter of time. He's going to catch him, take him to Suplex City, and before you know it, everybody's going to go, oh, shit, not again. And Seth's going to get destroyed in the long run. To answer your question, yeah, Kenny Omega is probably the hottest independent wrestler. And if you have Brock, who's the hottest, he's Brock. Yeah, that's pretty much, probably the biggest match that you could put on.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, it's one of the potentially, biggest matches they ever could possibly do. I mean, if somehow, and I don't see it happening, if somehow AEW locked up Lesnar and actually, got him to a contract, bro, that match would put them on the map. No doubt about it. That would bring in, the mainstream audience and also, the kind of guys like us that are hardcore indie fans that would love to see Omega take on somebody of that caliber. I also have a counter question for you guys before we move on to the main event. Has it ever been established what exactly Rollins is burning down? I mean, is he like a Norwegian black metal guy? Is he burning down
Suplex
churches?
City.
I mean, what is he doing here, bro? I don't really get what exactly he's burning down.
Bro, you know what he's burning down? He's burning down it.
No,
Yes.
he said he's burning down Suplex City.
Yeah. He said that for the past month, but
I
what
know,
has burned
I know,
it down
I
for
know.
the past 3 years?
I know.
Nobody knows.
No one knows.
There's nothing he's burning.
Even
down.
the morons screaming it.
Yes.
Burn it down! They don't know what they're burning down either.
Saint, there's a lot of questions like that have to be answered. Sasha Banks, what is she the boss of? We don't know that. What's the answer to that? We don't know.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with the man Becky Lynch. I mean, it reminds me of the old Scorpion song. He's a woman, she's a man. What are we doing here? I like Becky, bro, but is she supposed to be a transgender character? What are we doing, bro? I'll never understand them calling her the man. I mean, I guess it makes her sound badass, but what is the man? And why is a woman being called the man? Bro, I just don't get it sometimes.
Bro, you are such a misogynist.
Yeah.
She's Conor McGregor, so she's the man.
She's the man.
And finally,
Here we
the
go.
main event of the evening. Now, when I say main event, you guys probably think I mean the Andre Battle Royal with this thing going on between Braun Strowman and Michael Chiche and Colin Jost, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's a pre-show match. Forget about that.
Really? Braun Strowman's a pre-show match?
He is.
Get
With
these pre-show hands.
EC3 and
With
Saturday Night Live?
Mm-hmm.
Get these SNL hands.
Maybe they should just add the women and the guys together and have a 40...
Get these intergender hands.
A 40 intergender rumble.
Ronda Rousey
Get these Rousey hands.
versus Charlotte Flair versus
Coming off the
Becky
rail.
Lynch. Winner takes all, both titles. Be a champ there.
Double
Be a
champ.
undisputed champ. Whatever you want to call it.
Double champ.
Double champ.
Becky
Double
said it.
champ,
Double
champ.
champ. Conor McGregor never said that.
Nope.
In an Irish accent, ever.
I want to hear what everybody says here, and I have an underlying question I want to ask you guys after we do our predictions. Don't let me forget that.
Don't forget.
AC, what are you looking for in this match? Who are you picking?
Well, I'm gonna stand by earlier statements and think that I'm not gonna get what I'm looking for. I'll get something else. What I'm looking for is a Ronda Rousey kicks the shit out of Becky Lynch, kicks the shit out of Charlotte Flair, and pins both of them at the same time as they lay, breathless in the middle of the ring, and they got to be stretchered out after. Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me this match, because it's Ronda freaking Rousey. But what I think is going to happen is we're going to get what they think wrestling fans want and what they think the masses want. They're going to give you the man. They're going to give you Becky Lynch. And they're going to give you the double champ. And then they're going to have a really hard time telling you a story that makes sense with that after. But that's what they think you want to see. That's what they think the people, the casuals, everybody sitting at WrestleMania that's going to be half asleep because it's 2:30 in the morning. want to see, and they're going to give you Becky Lynch. So that's what's going to happen.
I think you're going to have a match here where I think the fans are going to have a hard time getting up for it. I think they're going to be sitting on their hands for much of the match. I'm hoping for those ladies' sakes that they can do enough to get the crowd up. It's going to be hard, guys. It's going to be hard. I mean, when you think about the fact of how long those fans are going to be sitting there till they get that match, it will literally be 7 hours. They will be sitting on their asses for at least 7 hours till this match happens. That's a long time.
If you've been to a 6 or 7 hour show, you know how hard it is. I've been to them. It's hard. It's like a job.
So I am going to pick Becky Lynch. I don't want that to happen. I want Ronda Rousey to tap both Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch out at the same time. And I want that done in under a minute. That is the way I would book it. But I have a feeling that we're going to get the over-accented Becky Lynch winning the match. Hollywood.
Okay, I've been going back and forth with this, and I'm still going back and forth with this ending. I'm going to kick this out to you guys, and man, you know, part of me is saying it's got to be Becky. It's so obvious it's going to be Becky. She's going to be double champ. They're going to have a hard time telling the story. She's going to be flip-flopping on brands, defending, you know, one every other month, however they're going to do it. But I have a feeling if I'm Vince McMahon, he's going to look at, I'm going to give them Kofi. I can't give them Becky too. They don't need Becky. When I look at these three girls, Becky isn't even Charlotte, you know, let alone Ronda. I can't realistically do this. So therefore, I'm not going to do it. I think we might get what we've been all saying. Ronda may tap both of them at the same time. Ronda may go in there, grab Charlotte by the throat, knock her out with a fist. Like, let's take it from a realism standpoint, you know? How many times have you seen Conor McGregor wait, boom, fight over? She might do that to Ronda, and then he just might book Ronda to take down Becky and tap her. Boom. 8 seconds, you're going to have the shock of the world. You're going to have the Taker streak ending to Brock look like a joke compared to that. And Ronda's going to grab both of those belts, stand in the ring, and hightail it out of there, all pissed off. I could see him doing that.
That'd be great.
It would be unbelievable.
My dick is hard thinking about it right now.
You know, so that's what I keep going back. It's both extremes. Because if Becky wins, you have the double champ. The people get what they want. Where do you go from there? I think there's a better story to be told if you do have Ronda squash both of them. She's the double champ. There's way more places to go if that's the result versus if Becky is the double champ.
Plus, wouldn't you agree? Ronda being undefeated for years and years and years, that's always a story you can tell.
Sure.
Her losing kills all of that. So her winning, she could be undefeated for her entire career in WWE, and it would make perfect sense.
And in Vince's perspective, I'll throw this out at you too, guys. There's another layer here. The next night, or that night, and the next day on ESPN, what's better for Vince? What's better for business in reality? Ronda holding 2 belts, or the redhead that nobody knows holding 2 belts?
Ronda and Roman Reigns at a round table on First Take.
There you go. Oh, and by the way, Brock is still the champ, you know?
Right.
What do you guys think of that? I want to hear Saint's take on that, actually.
Yeah, give it to us, Saint.
Man, I don't know about this match, bro. I'm going to try to keep this quick. I'm going to give you what I wish they would do, what I personally would do, and what I think they're actually going to do.
Okay.
What I would do is exactly what you guys have said. I would actually have the biggest shock in the world. I would have Ronda Rousey absolutely obliterate the both of them. Have it be a minute or less. I think it would get the huge shock. I think actually get mainstream attention. I think you'd hear coverage of this on ESPN, and like maybe even make a storyline out of it, like, or something. She went into business for herself and just went out there and did what we know she's capable of doing, and taking out both women all at once. I don't know. I just don't see them doing it, unfortunately. I think obviously Becky's going over here, bro. I just think it just makes too much sense. I think, storyline. Geez, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Saint, I know you're a big Ronda fan. Just keep it together. We'll get through this together. We'll get through it together, buddy.
Storyline wise, I think it just makes too much sense, for them to obviously have this culminate with Becky winning. This is the worst Irish accent ever, but she's gonna be the next dual champ. Bro, I mean, the way she said it was just so funny.
You sounded about as real as her. You sounded about as real as her.
But no, seriously, she's getting big reactions right now. I think it's what a lot of the fans want. Not a lot of the hardcore fans like us, I think, really would like to see Ronda win, but I just don't see it happening. Now, what I personally would do, and this is going to tie into the Kofi thing, this is the way I would book it. I actually, we'll advertise it that it's the quote-unquote main event, but don't actually have it go on last, which I think would actually be beneficial to the women, because if that goes on last, as you guys said before, I think they're going to have a very hard time getting the fan reaction. I would actually have this go on second to last. I would have Becky, still go over, as much as I'd like Ronda to win. And I would actually use this to establish a new major heel. I would have, right after she wins, I would have Asuka come out and absolutely beat the holy high hell out of Becky, and have that be the next storyline. And then she could basically, counter back towards and even mention that, I actually won my match at the Rumble, and look what it got me. And you ended up winning both women's titles, and you didn't even win your match at the Rumble. I think
I love it.
It'd be a very, after what we've seen happen to Asuka, I think, it could be easily forgiven if they reestablish her as this big monster heel that's unbeatable. I think from a realism standpoint, it makes sense. And I think, for Becky, I think she'd make the perfect next opponent, and to have it all cycle back, to that Rumble match, and have it, be potentially a 5-6 month storyline. And that's what I personally would do. And I would actually, as I said earlier, and this goes back to what I said, I would actually end the show with the Kofi match. I think you end the show with the fireworks going off and him celebrating in the ring. And, I think if that still goes on last and isn't, the quote unquote main event, I think it still would be acceptable to, any kind of fan watching it. I don't think too many people would, even the PC people, I don't think they would give it too much flack. And I think, you have that big major moment that is, it really is 11 years in the making. I think he would deserve it. And that, I don't think they'll do it, unfortunately. I think they are going to commit towards the women's triple threat as the main event. But seriously, there's just so much potential to have that Kofi big moment in the show, bro.
There's huge potential. I 100% agree. But I think you're underselling what the PC crowd is going to say about a man taking the spot from the women. I could just see a lot of these, and listen, the WWE, they listen to this stuff, though.
Yeah, but dude, this, again, I'm not turning this into a politics show, okay? But I got to say it, because this is the identity politics issue. What has more weight? A black man that has been held down, quote unquote, for 11 years, or a white woman? So where does the PC side land on that,
I think the company has pushed the women's side more than the the side that you're saying with the black side.
Right.
I agree with what you're saying. You could make an argument on either side of this. I just think, and what they've publicly shown is they made it known that the women are the main event. They're the headliners. They've made that known. If they don't go last, they are still looking at a public backlash. I'm sorry, it's just going to happen. And
yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right about that.
And I agree with you guys. I think Kofi and Daniel should go last. It's the best wrestling story they have right now. But that's not it's not going to happen, though. It's just not going to happen.
Stames, weigh in on that. Like, what do you think is the reaction there if they would do that?
I do think that there would be some people who would bitch and moan, but I think there would be others that would be behind the Kofi match going last. I think they pretty much told us the women's match is going to be last, and that's that. I think that's what they're going to do.
Which is unfortunate because, like as you made a big point in saying, I am really concerned that how they're going to be able to get the fans at that point, because you're talking like we said 7-hour show. It's going to be about 12:45 before this friggin' thing ends.
To me, that's why that match has to be quick. Like AC said about on ESPN and all that stuff. Look, if you have a 25-second match, ESPN could show the entire match and talk about
it. The one thing I want to say about all this, so last week when they did their big ESPN tour, who was there? The 3 women and Roman Reigns. Those were the 4 people there. I think that tells you a lot. You know Roman's not going last. Do you really think they've put this out there that the women are the headliner? When you watch a boxing match, Floyd Mayweather ain't fighting in the middle of the card just because it's early. You know what I mean? Just because we know the people are going to be dead. They're like, nah, this is Floyd's show. He's going last. And honestly, I think Ronda Rousey would politic for that. Ronda Rousey's not going to be like, hold on a minute. I come from MMA. When I'm the main event, I go last. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Here's my last question to you guys before we get out of here. I wanted to get your take on this, and Hollywood, I'll let you go first. Charlotte Flair is a 14-1 underdog in this match. She is the biggest underdog of the 12 matches that are going to be on the main show. Would it be worth throwing $100 on Charlotte Flair to win $1,400? What do you think?
No.
Man, I mean, it's a nice payoff if they would do a swerve. And none of us are talking about Charlotte being an option. I don't think anybody is.
Nobody is.
Fake.
Nobody is.
If it was real, I would say, yeah, but it's fake. No.
Yeah, but everything's fake and they swerve. Doesn't mean they won't swerve. I mean, could you imagine the reaction if Vince would swerve it that way? Charlotte wins both belts. Nobody's talking about that.
Oh, nobody's expecting that. Nobody.
I mean, that would be if they wanted to go the unexpected route, that would be the way to go, I think.
Well, if they wanted to get her booed out of the building, yeah, sure.
Well, sure, but Ronda's going to get booed out of the building too, right?
I don't know that, though. I painted a scenario for you guys last night, 2 nights ago, whatever it was, where Ronda steals the match, and that by stealing the match, she steals the crowd. You know what I mean? I could see Ronda doing that. It's a big spot for Ronda Rousey. Plus, she's the most recognizable competitor in that crowd, because you're not talking about the mainstream WWE crowd. You're talking about WrestleMania. You're talking about worldwide recognition. You're talking about people from other countries. You're talking about people from all over the place. This is not like it's not when they come to New York, when they come to Brooklyn for Raw in October, that's a regional WWE crowd. When they're in MetLife Stadium for WrestleMania, they're getting a worldwide crowd.
Well, here's a question.
But Ronda's the most recognizable person.
Who's the second most recognizable person? You just proved the point. Charlotte is. She's, what did they put on ESPN? The daughter of Ric Flair. What, you're telling me Becky is more worldwide recognizable than Charlotte Flair?
No. I'm saying it's not even close. That she's not even the same. My point being is Ronda's so far ahead of them, it's not even close.
Oh yeah, no, we agree on that. I'm still with
no. Flair.
Let me tell you why.
Becky, yeah, I'll give you Flair. Yeah. No.
Here's why I asked the question. As a gambler, okay, ex-gambler,
right?
As an ex-gambler, but somebody who has an eye still.
That's why you were in parts unknown for all those years.
Yes, I still have an eye though.
Let's not get into it.
Gambling business, but when you're a professional gambler, the one thing that you really have an eye for and look for is when the odds are kind of out of tilt, and they call that a value play. Charlotte Flair is one hell of a value play here. She's 14-1. She's an 8-time champion. She's the daughter of Ric Flair. Now, I get it. In this story, it would seem like there's no chance that she could possibly win. But let's remember, we're dealing with Vince McMahon here. And if Ronda Rousey, if in the back he's hearing she's going to leave and go home and have a baby, are we saying there's no chance that he is thinking, well, then if I'm given that choice, Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch, there's no chance he picks Charlotte Flair?
Yeah. That's a live dog. You sold me.
What do you say?
Live
Saint?
dog.
Yep. Saint, well 14-1. Saint, do you realize how many Sonny Betamax tapes you could buy?
I mean, bro, I would say that maybe it's because I don't know if it's because I'm just like a big wuss or whatever. I'm not a big fan of gambling. I just would never do it. But seriously, that's tempting as hell when you realize, like you said, if you put $14 and you could go away with all that money, I mean, it's ridiculously tempting. And I think it's almost, in a way, it's almost kind of smart because you're not really putting down that much money, and the payoff is quite big. And like you said, the pedigree of Charlotte Flair, she is pretty much an 8 or 9-time women's champion. You almost can't go wrong. I just feel like because of that, though, I feel like she doesn't really have that much to gain from this. She's won both women's titles on both brands. So for her to win the double championship, I don't know. I don't see that be much to gain for. But Becky Lynch, on the other hand, and I guess the case would be with Rousey as well. They have actually not won the opposite brand's belt. So I think realistically it makes more sense for either one of them to win the match. They have way more to gain from it.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. The Saint gets the last word.
I will say one thing real quick.
Wait, you had another question to ask.
I know we're kind of long, but I do have one other question here.
That's a compliment.
Do you guys expect any kind of surprises or anything with this? Like, obviously, The Undertaker has not been revealed, but I could potentially see him, maybe choke slamming or tombstoning Elias. I mean, I think fans would pop for it.
Hey, we didn't mention Elias. Mention Elias.
Well, Elias is definitely going to get
we didn't mention
kicked.
Alexa. We didn't mention Alexa either.
On the list.
Well, you just did.
I love you, Alexa.
Elias is definitely going to take a beating from somebody.
Honky Tonk Man.
It could be Honky Tonk Man.
Calling it.
Absolutely. Maybe it's Honky Tonk and Jeff Jarrett together.
What The Rock is cooking.
Could be The Rock. I could see Rock making an appearance.
It's New York, baby.
Yep.
But Miami or New York, you gotta predict The Rock.
Well, it's New Jersey.
If we got Cena coming in, I mean, come on. I mean, what else do we need?
Close enough.
So we got Cena, we got Beth Phoenix. What the hell?
Conditioned to say New York at this point.
We got Braun Strowman. What do you need?
Is he out? Oh, that's right.
What I was going to get at real quick is why I bring this up is this is very interesting. Apparently, Sting has canceled his WrestleCon appearance that was supposed to be around this weekend, and because they're saying that it's because of his quote unquote WWE schedule, which I find very very interesting. And there's also another rumor going around that they want to set the seeds for Taker versus Sting at Saudi Arabia. What do you guys think about that?
Oh my God.
Bro, Hollywood will mark out. I know that.
Dude, time just froze when he said that.
Well, can we make it a 3-way with the demon?
No.
No, a 4-way with Kane. A 4-way with Kane. There you go. You got your 4-way. They love their 4-ways.
Would I die to see that? Yes.
It's a crazier idea. I mean, they've done.
I'm not even mad at you.
But for real, they could. This is the type of match that they could do it, and they could, without any build up, and it could be a big surprise match, and they could still do it. And for real, if they do it, whether it's at Saudi Arabia or whether it's WrestleMania, wherever it's at, I really think that should be it for the both of them. I think that's the perfect way for both of them guys to end their career because
I would agree.
Sting's pushing 60. Taker's getting really up there. I think at that point, that's the way you end both of their careers. They don't have nothing else to prove at that point.
They should just both disappear in quicksand. That would be perfect. Desert, quicksand, old guys.
That's
Can I say one real quick thing
The
about
characters, not the guys, the characters.
Go ahead,
I
Saint.
just say that I actually, in a way, I partially have no problems with it being the main event because I'm under the thought process that I'd rather them just do this and get it out of the way and get it out of their system. Because, 2-3 years from now, seriously, there's no other big women's match that I feel like could really main event anyway. So I'd rather them just do it now and just, get it out of the way honestly.
Can I just say one more thing real quick?
Get it out of the way.
Can I have a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Guys,
I want to hear this question.
If Vince, all right, yeah, they do it. They get it out of their system. But how long until he has to do it again?
Next year?
Right? It has to be forever now, right?
I mean, Brock Lesnar versus Ronda Rousey. There you go. Boom.
I think next year, if you're really
Ronda Rousey versus Cyborg.
gonna bust barriers next year, you gotta let the midgets headline WrestleMania. I think.
Oh. How about a
Little
black
people.
woman versus a Mexican man versus a transgender?
It could be Sonny Kiss versus
Right. Sonny Kiss versus Velveteen Dream versus
Ali
Ali
versus
versus one of these Asian women.
All right, now we're getting a bit in the ridiculous realm here.
All right, we are. Could we ask the main question before we leave? Though?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Stames, do it.
What's the main question?
Oh no, my main question to you guys is. This is, as we got off the rails a little bit, this is this celebration of wrestling weekend. It's the Super Bowl of wrestling. It's beyond WrestleMania. There's so many other promotions that feed off this weekend. Is there something else going on this weekend besides WWE that you're looking for? Looking forward to?
I'd say yes. I'm looking more forward to the G1, the G1 tournament thing with the G1 Supercard. I mean, with the Ring of Honor and New Japan, I think there's a lot of great matches on that, especially considering we're getting Kazuchika Okada versus Jay White. That's a main event anywhere in the world. That's absolutely incredible. I'm really looking forward to that, more so than WrestleMania. And in a way, that's kind of sad to say that.
I am looking forward to that show, but I am also looking forward to Impact Thursday night, United We Stand, and I'm really looking forward to Sami Callihan versus Jimmy Havoc in a Monsters Ball match. It's been so long since I saw a good, real, hardcore, beat the piss out of each other match, and I think we're going to get it. I mean, this is going to be something that hasn't been done in years, knowing those two guys.
At $19.99 on Fight TV, I'm watching, bro.
Yep.
I'm with you. You sold me on it, so kudos to you.
General?
I'm looking forward to on Friday night. Glow is going to have a card, and I can't wait to see the Glow card. It's going to be great.
Who are you looking forward to there?
It doesn't matter. Anybody that's not a man.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, I just need more women's wrestling. That's what I'm looking
I hear
for.
you. I feel you.
Yeah.
I think the world does. The whole world needs more.
No, bro, I'm looking forward to the Impact Wrestling. I'm looking forward to the ROH and New Japan thing. Hell, I think I'm even looking forward to the NXT thing. Not necessarily for myself, but for all those NXT fans out there. You know what? I'm okay with you guys enjoying NXT. Enjoy it while you can, because those some bitches are going to graduate to the WWE and they're going to be murdered. So
AC,
enjoy them. Enjoy them in NXT.
What's your answer, AC? What's your number one?
I think we do that, and I think I posed the question in the wrong way. I shouldn't have said excluding WWE because of NXT. Maybe WrestleMania is what you want to see the most, but as crazy as it sounds, WrestleMania is probably what I want to see the most. Only because here's the thing: I know what I'm gonna get with the G1. I know what I'm gonna get with NXT. I'm gonna watch Impact, and I'm gonna watch it openly. I'm not gonna say I know what I'm gonna get, but I'm not that excited about it either. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, right.
But I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give them their time because I think that card earns the viewership. I think they showed something that earns my viewership. So I'm gonna give them that. I just think that at the end of the day, as much as it makes me crazy and I don't want to admit it, WrestleMania is this freaking Super Bowl. And although I don't expect them to make me happy, for some reason I'm just like, well, I'll wait and see. I'll you know what I mean? Like, I'll get the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him it this week because it's WrestleMania week. It's about celebration of wrestling week. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt only this week. So I'm kind of looking forward to WrestleMania. I don't know why, but I am. Just being real.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that too, because previously, I hate to say it, I almost was to the point where I wasn't even going to watch it. I kind of feel like, it's part of our duty as soldiers of shoot. We're kind of obligated to watch it. But, as the week went on, there's been a lot of bad, obviously, on WWE TV. But at the end of the day, like AC said, this is practically the Super Bowl of wrestling. I think it's the type of thing, once the the chips are down and once the show actually airs, I'll be sitting there watching it and, hopefully enjoying it. But I think that's going to be a hard task doing both, but I guess we'll be waiting to find out on Sunday, bros.
Absolutely. Anything else, gents?
I'm good. Enjoy WrestleMania.
Enjoy the weekend.
All right.
Starting
troops.
tomorrow, TNA.
Starting
Impact.
tomorrow,
Yes.
Impact Thursday. Yes, get it. 11 o'clock p.m. on, what is it, on the Fight? Is that where you get that, on the Fight?
Fight.tv, I believe.
Okay, Fight
Yeah,
TV.
there's an app. If you have the iPhone, there's a Fight TV app that you can sign up for Roku, whatever. They're on all that.
And I'm sure the first 3 months are for 99 cents, so don't worry about it. Just sign up, pay your 99 cents, and you're good to go.
I think you do get a free month, though. I think you do.
Oh, nice.
All right. So, troops, thanks for joining us tonight. So, for General Stames, your boy, we're saying goodnight on behalf of my man Hollywood Edwards, the Steamtown Stunner, Electric City Saint, Bobby Ventura, and my main man, Magic Mike Cole. Good night, everybody.
Asshole.